People do not think that divorce is harder on men because men move on quicker. But what they don't realize is that these men are grieving. Men bottle up their emotions, and that results in depression and anxiety. Generally, they don't have a lot of people to talk to about this stuff, and they're not able to really express themselves and talk about the terrible feelings that they have. Many men self-medicate, turn to alcohol and drugs because they don't have a support system. And then they rush into new relationships because they don't want to be alone. Now, not only are they grieving over one bad relationship, now they have two bad relationships.
Guys are really out here giving up half their shit and everything they've ever worked for in monthly payments in return for some sandwiches and some pussy. Literally, that's what it is, okay? And before you come for me, because some of you guys are gonna be like, nah, she's like my best friend. Yeah, you think that. Why don't you get in her phone? Why don't you go open up her phone and look through her fucking text messages somehow? You can't let her know you're doing it, and let me know what you think after that. Because she's got tons of other people she's fucking entertaining, even if you're fucking married. And that's the cold, hard fucking truth. Because women need constant validation. They need constant sources of male validation, majority of them. Sure, you might find a good one here and there, but that's like finding a fucking diamond on the sidewalk. It is a fucking anomaly, okay? And when it happens, we all look at it like it's a fucking unicorn. So next time you're thinking about getting married, just ask yourself some very logical questions, okay? Number one, is half my life's work and monthly payments worth getting some dinner made for me and getting some pussy on tap, okay? And also ask yourself, with this woman that's coming into my life, right? She's gonna get older every fucking year. That doesn't mean she's getting better. She's gonna look far different than what she looks like today, okay? And your money is gonna continue to grow. That's the reality of the situation. You will continue probably to get richer and richer and richer. She will continue to wither and wither and wither. So what type of fucking deal are you getting here? And if one day she decides to fucking leave, you're fucked. You're fucked. There's not a courtroom in America you will walk into and win in. You will give up everything you've ever worked for, and she'll keep coming back to court asking for more, saying it's not enough. How could she possibly survive on this? And the thought of her getting a job and supporting herself never crossed her mind. And nobody will ever ask her to do it, because why would they? You exist. So again, I will forever talk out against this, and I will advise all men to not go down this fucking route. It doesn't make any sense.
Man, this was one of the best ways to put it. You work hard to build up everything only to lose half of it because you wanted a sandwich and a nut. Men do not benefit from marriage because they often take more of a financial responsibility, face higher risks in divorce, and receive less emotional or legal support compared to what they give.
You know, there's this erroneous impression that I want to deal with quickly, and it's to my fellow men. We sometimes think that divorce is not a loss for a man, like a man doesn't lose anything. Bro, divorce is not a loss only for a woman. Men lose too. Sometimes even more. Many fathers have lost their daily connection with their children after separation. Men also lose their home stability and even the home they've helped build. You see?
They don't understand that a lot of men, we don't really run away from marriage. We run away from divorce.
That's a fact.
We're not running away from marriage. But you gotta understand, if I found out what marriage is, it's like, I love my girl to death, but you mean to tell me if I make one mistake, they can ruin me for the rest of my life on one mistake? If she make a mistake, it's cool. She make a mistake, divorce is good. She just go on about her life. I make a mistake that can cost me for the rest of my, that ain't really fair. You know, one day I want to make my girl that happy because it's truly for her. And I'm man enough to say men don't look into, and it's coming from somebody whose parents been married. I'm 35. My parents been married since I was 5.
Right.
So this coming from a married home couple. It's just what they done made it to be now. Right. It's like, okay, I see married people. It's really a money game now. It seems like it's like I get married. There's no benefits for me. It's no benefits for me but to make her happy. So now if I get married, okay, cool. Now as a man or whoever I am, I haven't made no mistake with my girl for 8 years.
Right.
Never got no Texas, came to her as no woman. No woman came to her as no woman. I'm not on camera. I'm not doing nothing. I done did my thing. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me if I slip up, I do something up, and she just feel like she don't want to give me a chance, she could possibly take half of what I own.
Divorce was the worst psychological pain I've ever lived through, worse than any grief that I've ever understood. I lost what I thought I'd built. My identity cracked overnight, and the life I thought I had, gone. There were days when nothing meant anything, and I wondered, how do people keep going? But a little voice in the back of my head said, if this lifts, you'll be glad you did. And it did lift. Pain isn't permanent, but giving up would have been.
What is one bad financial decision that you regret making in life?
Getting married.
Getting married?
Yes, sir.
Why do you say that?
I got divorced, and then I had to sell my house.
You had to sell your home?
I had to sell my house. We went half and half on whatever the equity was. So I lost a lot of money there.
Yeah. Did she help you buy the home?
No, she didn't.
She just came in and...
Exactly.
Damn. And then what was like the money amount, if you had to say?
Maybe like 35K.
35?
35 and 35, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get married. I'm kidding. I mean, if it works out for you guys, go ahead and do it.
Do you think you're gonna remarry?
Eventually, yeah.
You gonna try it again?
I'm open to it. Why not? Yeah, I'm open to it.
What makes you not scared to get married again? Because other guys usually, when they get divorced, they're like, I'm not getting married again. So what makes you?
Right now, I have like I'm very cautious about who like I talk to. I guess I kind of have like a guard up. You know what I mean? But I'm open to love, you know, like I still believe in love. I still believe in marriage. And, you know, if I find another person that, you know, another girl that I fall in love with, like, let's do it, you know.
You're going to try it again.
Exactly.
And then did you have kids in your last marriage?
No kids, thank God. You know, I was married for 5 years, no kids. Thank God.
Oh, so you got away clean then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, divorce.
Hey, W divorce. Hey, but I hope she's doing well. I know she's doing good right now. I wish her the best.
Yeah, and then why did that marriage fail, do you think?
I don't know. It was during COVID. She probably got bored. I don't know. You think
she got bored?
I'm thinking, to be honest with you.
She just woke up one day and she's like, I'm cool.
That's exactly what happened.
Why do women do that? They just wake up one day like, hey, you know what? I'm cool. I don't want to be in this relationship no more.
That's exactly what happened. To be honest with you, I don't know, brother. But
damn, do you think men love more than women actually?
Absolutely. Men love more than women for sure.
They're loyal to their feelings.
Exactly. I think women love out of convenience. If
it's convenient for them.
I mean, let's be real, bro. Let's be real. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is, and that's what happened. Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully you find true love again one day.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure I will. I'm
rooting for you. Everybody in the comments rooting for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, he seems like a hopeless romantic, and hopefully he'll pick better next time. But damn, he lost half his house thinking love would last forever.
How men and women change after divorce. The difference is striking. Just 6 months after divorce, some women jump from one relationship to the next like a revolving door. Some even remarry right away. Divorce seems to have no impact on them at all. But most men, they stay single, even refusing to go on blind dates. They just stick to their routine, work, then home. The contrast is pretty ironic, isn't it? Why is that? It's because men are wired to be loyal long term. Some might seem laid back, but once they get married, they're in it for life. That's why men rarely initiate divorce. Even if they do split up, they'll have no interest in new relationships or people for years. Let's be honest, divorce hits men hard. Most men empty their family's savings, sometimes 3 generations worth, to get married. Then, just a few years later, they're still paying the mortgage and car loans, only to end up with nothing, no wife, no family, no money. For women, though, they don't have to spend much, they just show up. Some even profit from the marriage. To them, relationships are like stepping stones or games. If it doesn't work out, or they get bored, they just move on to the next person. They never stop to think about how to actually make a marriage work.
With all the men that you've counseled, with all the networks that how truthful is that? Will a guy lose everything if he files for divorce?
Oh, that's a touchy subject, dude. I'm about to piss off a lot of men here. It happens. There's this, I think we touched on this before, the vocal minority within something like the internet. They don't represent the majority of cases, but boy, are they vocal and outspoken about it.
Right.
Which if you hear that story again and again and again, eventually you go, I think the norm for most men in these situations is they're going to lose 80% of their wealth, and they're going to end up in a tiny apartment with a shitty pickup truck, and she's going to live in a mansion, and that happens. But I don't think statistically, that's a hard word to say, I don't think the stats prove out that that's a for sure thing if you are a man and get divorced.
I asked my divorce lawyer friend to give me one bit of advice most men would never hear. He told me, if your partner has cheated, taken the kids, or walked out the door, he goes, guess what, Spirit? The cheating isn't the biggest mistake. It's the man's reaction after it. Punching walls, sending angry texts, threatening messages. And in that moment, your world feels like it's collapsing. He's watched good men destroy their own case with one emotional mistake, one message, one reaction, one loss of control, and it costs them years. He's told me the men who win are the ones who stay calm, composed, even when their world is burning. So remember this, if life ever hits you like that, the next move you make may decide the next 3 to 5 years of your life. Message me, control the reaction.
A divorced man carries pain that you can't always see. He blames himself for everything that went wrong, even if both parties made mistakes. He questions if he was good enough, if he led right, if he made mistakes, and yet he walks around with a smile, always positive. The hardest part isn't the divorce itself, it's the silence that comes after. Nobody celebrates a man who's starting over. Nobody sees the work he's doing all alone.
You know what being divorced at 26 has taught me? A couple years ago, if you would have asked me what my future was, I would have said a house and a wife and 2 kids, living out my days working a 9 to 5 and retiring at 55 or 60, and that would have been it. But here I am. I basically live out of my car, and I don't have a job, and I'm doing social media, and I'm talking into a camera in my bed about my life. And I get this guy, so that's kind of sweet. Ultimately, you just can't control what's going to happen to you, you know? So keep it simple. All this control that you're trying to have, it's just an illusion. Just allow your effort and your mental energy to go into the very next decision that you have to make in your day. And just make it an integral one, and make sure that it's one that you're proud of. And everything will unfold the way that it's already meant to.
And another thing, ain't no man more confident than a man who has figured out that the woman that he married ain't the right one and went to the lawyer's office and filed for a divorce. Ain't no more confident man than that, and there's no other type of man that sets the type of boundaries that a man sets after he is the one who made the decision to say, you know what, this shit is over. Women can't play no games with that man right there, and that's why when they meet one, they have ass don't know how to deal with him, because he ain't gonna put up with your bullshit. You ain't gonna be able to play your brat role. You ain't gonna be able to shame him into doing anything that you want him to do, and you're not always gonna be right in the conversation. He's gonna wear a different type of confidence because he has already been to the ball game, lost the game, went and retrained himself, and now he got boundaries that's made out of steel. Ain't no man more confident than that. A man that filed for divorce is 10 times as confident than a woman who goes and files for a divorce. Because he ain't going to sit around and cry about the shit like y'all do when y'all go file for divorce. That man right there got rid of her because of a reason. And I can tell you this also. If you meet a woman and she tells you that her husband divorced her, boy, you better check the Carfax, because it's a damn reason. Men don't just get up and run out of relationships. Men don't just get up and go and divorce women. Understand that. So if he divorced her, it might be a sign to you, brother.
I've always thought that this was one of the reasons women file for divorce, especially when they feel the marriage is no longer going well, because they don't want it to look like they got rejected. Because everybody know if the husband files for divorce, that means she did something really bad, not just someone being bored or saying, I'm no longer happy.
The key problem I have with marriage as it is done currently here in the West and in other places, but certainly the clay in which I work, is that there are certain promises the law can enforce, and there are certain promises it can't. So if we acknowledge, if we say the quiet part out loud, that in the majority of heterosexual marriages, the man brings protection and providing, and the woman brings kindness, warmth, and care, right? And sex. That's the economy. That's the economy. I didn't make that up. Don't get fucking mad at me in the comments. I didn't make it up. It was here before me. It's going to be here after me, I promise, right? So that's the game. That's the economy. His roles, his obligations are enforceable by law. So state power can be used to enforce his obligations, not hers. The court cannot order her to be nice to him, or to fuck him, or to stay pretty, or to stay sweet and friendly to him and kind to him, or speak nicely of him, or raise the children in a meaningful way that, creates value to him instead of teaching them to disrespect him, right? But his promises in that, shelter, food, financial obligations, court can force you to do that. And if you don't do it, they can put you in jail, or they can take away your driver's license, your professional licenses. So what is that? When you have a contract where only one side is enforceable by law under penalty of law, like that is a dangerous game to play if you're a man, period.
And one thing about it, you better watch how you try to interfere in people's marriage, romantically or not. Because one thing about it, and two things for sure, not only are you playing with fire, you are playing with God. And that is a battle you will not win. Especially when we're talking about a marriage with God at the center. We talking divinely orchestrated. Baby, you lost when the thought popped in your head. And karma is real. So watch yourself.
Getting divorced teaches you a lot about yourself. Mostly, how to be okay alone. Anyone else on that journey?
Here's what men regret after divorce. Most men that decide to file for divorce do so after what's called the 5-year burn, where 5 years ago, some event took place that was so impactful to the marriage or the dynamics at home that they knew that things would never be the same in their marriage. They go through a period of mourning and then a period of honeymoon or trying to reconcile events, but things just never seem the same. For men that are contemplating divorce, it's important to keep in mind that if you're in the middle of this 5-year burn, you may be in the eventual process of filing for your divorce.
In the meantime, I can name a whole lot of dudes that have suffered tremendously by giving everything up. Now, if this guy ever sees this video, he knows who he is. My former colleague gave me the best divorce advice that I could have ever received. And that's what I want to give back to you, because he was the one man that I talked to. We pulled everything, like all the stops, we chopped it up. And he was like, this is what you need to do. He even gave me some tips and pointers that even my divorce lawyer would not end up giving me. I had to bring it up later, and it was because I had good advice. And that's all I want to give to you. Again, not legal advice. I just want to give you good advice of what you need to look out for. And so one of the things this guy told me is prepare. He said, Dev, I know how you are. You are an analyst. You think analytically. So that's going to keep your emotions out of it, and prepare. Be prepared.
Historically, men used to have systemic protection. Before no-fault divorce, a woman had to prove cause to leave a marriage. And she didn't have access to a man's assets just because she felt unhappy. She had to maintain order. She had to maintain cooperation. Survival depended on it. Now, no-fault divorce removed all those guardrails. Today, nearly 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. And courts overwhelmingly favor women in asset distribution and custody judgments. The system no longer protects men. So men must protect themselves. Protection today means having a premarital agreement. It means only dealing with women who have skin in the game. It means NDAs when necessary. It means keeping receipts if you're dealing with a woman who's in a lower socioeconomic position, meaning a woman who is broke. It means being aware that some women see relationships as a financial elevator. Protection is strategy. Protection is boundaries. Protection is foresight. And when you combine leverage and protection, you gain something men almost never had in previous generations: the ability to maintain power and order within a relationship. Leverage gives you influence. Protection gives you insulation. When you have leverage, you can set standards. When you have protection, you can enforce those standards. And if she violates those standards, you can dismiss her without being forced to giving her access to anything she didn't earn. Most men lose in relationships because they enter with no leverage.
Men walk into marriage with zero leverage. If she's unhappy, she can walk and take half your life with her. A man's only real leverage is not getting married. Once you say I do, you're walking in with your hands tied. All right, that's it for this video. Until the next time, peace.